Does your child repeat everything you say? Did you know this is called echolalia? And have you kept thinking, how do I stop echolalia? Or what can I do to reduce my child's repetition of speech? Before we try to change anything about our children, we have to first understand them and why they're doing certain things and why they're exhibiting certain behaviors before we start to rectify their behaviors or to change them, right? So we need a foundation of understanding. So that is why in our previous video, I had covered very important topics. If you haven't watched that video, I'm going to urge you to right now go back, click on this link and watch that video and come back to this video. I'm going to wait until you do that. Right, now if you have watched that video, you now know that echolalia is not some random self-stimulatory behavior alone, but in fact echolalia does have some communication intent. Okay, yes, when your child is echoing speech, it is not actual clear communication, but you now know that there is some underlying communication intent behind the speech or behind the echoic sentence or word. So when we are teaching our child a strategy or when we are trying to reduce echolalia, I would really tell you not to think about it as reducing echolalia than it is about making your child an effective communicator. So I would say don't think about it as reducing echolalia or controlling behavior or reducing some behavior, but instead think about it differently. Think about it as making your child an effective communicator, making him or her be able to say what they feel very clearly and very easily. So that is our goal and not reducing the behavior as such. So in order to make the listener understand your child better, you're going to teach them some strategies. So this strategy or the technique we are going to use is called shaping. Shaping itself suggests that there is some behavior, there is some speech that your child is exhibiting. What we are going to do is we are going to take that speech and shape it into a different, more comprehensible, more clear utterance. Okay, so we will tackle this by a few examples. I'm giving you 3 examples so you can better understand how to implement the shaping technique. Okay, so for the first example, let's take a Tamil example. Taking a bubbles bottle and you're asking your child, "Idu enna?" The child immediately says, "Idu enna?" He repeats exactly what you say. This is a phrase level immediate echolalia. Okay, so when your child says "Idu enna" as it is, you have to think now. Why is he saying this? Is he saying it because he doesn't know what this is called? That can be one possibility. Is he saying it because he actually wants this? That can be a second possibility. Or is he saying it because he's not really interested in this? He just wants to say something and move on. Right? So there can be 3 possibilities. Now think back. So for the first possibility, if your child doesn't know what this is, and if he's again repeating "Idi enna," then what you will do is, when you are asking the question, you will reduce the intensity, reduce the volume of "Idi enna," and then you will say "Idu bubbles." How you would do this is, "Idi enna, idu bubbles." So if you notice, I said "Idu enna" softly, and I said "Idu bubbles" loudly. So that is the first way you can teach your child if he does know what this is called. Okay. The second possibility, he knows what this is, but then he still says "Idi enna" to ask for it. So here is the communicative function of requesting. So the first possibility what we saw was labeling, and the second now we are seeing is requesting. So then you would ask "Idi enna bubbles? Bubbles venuma? Bubbles venum." So here to notice, so I said 4 sentences if you noticed. I said "Idi enna," "Idu bubbles," "Bubbles venuma," "Bubbles venum." So here if you see there were 2 questions. So I would here urge you to reduce the intensity of the questions and increase the intensity of the answers. For example, "Idi enna," "Idu bubbles," "Bubbles venuma," "Bubbles veno." Right. So this is how you would do. So you're teaching your child what is it in that language you're speaking that your child really needs to focus on in order to tell you his needs. And for the third possibility, if your child really isn't interested in the activity, then there is no way of teaching here, right? So you just have to move on to another activity which your child likes, and there you employ the shaping technique. Okay, so before we move on to the second example, did you take the time to subscribe to my channel? Did you like the video? And then give me a thumbs up. Give me a comment if you're learning something from this video. Let's take a second example. Now we are showing your child a packet of chips and you're asking, or chips chahiye? And the child repeats chahiye. Here. So this is a word level immediate echolalia. So now he has responded chahiye. And if you notice, it can be the same intonation as your question. So it's not chahiye as in I want, but it is just a repetition of what you said here. In this instance, again, now think back. Why is your child saying this? What is his intent? Does he really want chips? First possibility is that he really might want some more chips. So then in that situation, you would teach him to say, or chips chahiye? Chips chahiye. So the question again is softer and the answer is louder. So the whole thing is said by you. So the child understands that I have to say only the loud voiced utterance loudly and clearly. So you will be, or chips chahiye? Chips chahiye. And your child will repeat the same. Chips chahiye. So now, as you keep doing this, your child will understand that, okay, when mom asks me this question or when someone asks me a question, I don't have to repeat the question, I only have to tell this part of the answer. Second possibility for this situation, when a child is eating chips and you're asking, or chips chahiye? And the child says, chahiye. So this is actually another communicative function of negation or protesting, saying, I don't want it. Here you will teach, or chips chahiye? Chips nahi chahiye. So you will teach like what he has to answer, you will say it to him in a louder voice. A small quick note to add before we go to the third example. I am trying to give you some quality speech and language pathologist information, tips and techniques and activities. So it would really help me to sustain this channel if you can subscribe, if you can comment and share the video with your friends or with other parents who might be benefited from this. So the third example, let's say a child is playing with some cars or some toys, and while he is playing he repeats, wheels on the bus go round and round. So this is a delayed phrase or sentence level echolalia, right? Now this is a little bit tricky because when you are next to your child at this moment and your child is repeating a verse from the rhymes, then what you do is you again think back, why is he saying this? It can be one reason that he's just rehearsing, or it can be another reason where he's actually enjoying the activity. He likes the rhymes, he likes playing with cars, he likes playing with toys, and he is reinforcing his own likeness to it. So then what you would do is you will make him express his liking. That is, you will teach him to say Naku cars ishtam or Naku rhymes ishtam. So he does like the activity, he likes the rhymes, he likes the sound of it. So you are just going to tell him how he can convey this to somebody or to an audience in a more clearer way. So he likes rhymes and you're just giving him the sentence to say instead of the rhymes again. Right. So I hope all the 3 examples and the 4 tips were very useful. Try out these strategies and see how it is helping your child and let me know in the comments. Now use these 3 examples, go through it again and write down the 4 tips. Take your pen and paper and write it down and try to use it with your child. Use it for a few days, for a few weeks and let me know, come back to this video and tell me in the comments of how it has been useful to you. Okay, so see you in the next video. I hope you took a lot of information about echolalia and how to help your child be more effective communicators. So see you in the next video. Bye.